All right, let's talk about AI. We're going to cut through all the hype today. We're not talking about some far-off future with robots. We are looking at how AI is solving real, everyday business challenges right here, right now.
So let me ask you something. Does this sound familiar? Are you constantly battling rising costs? Does it feel like your day-to-day operations are just, dragging everything down instead of moving things forward? If so, you are definitely not alone.
And if you're nodding along looking at this list, well, there's a reason for that. All these hurdles, from compliance headaches to data issues, they pretty much all boil down to one thing: complexity. As a business grows, that complexity just creates friction everywhere.
But here's a different way to think about it. What if we flipped the script? What if these weren't just problems that needed fixing? What if every single one of these hurdles was actually an opportunity in disguise? A chance to really get ahead of the curve?
And that's where AI comes in. This isn't science fiction. It's a real, practical toolkit. The good news is that AI is the tool that can empower your business to turn those problems into opportunities, making you smarter, faster, and way more resilient. Okay, so that's the big idea. But what does this actually look like in the real world? Well, let's go behind the curtain and check out 6 major industries to see exactly how AI is turning their biggest headaches into some of their biggest wins.
First up, let's talk healthcare. Just picture this: a nurse spending hours, not minutes, hours, manually punching in patient data into a bunch of different systems that just don't talk to each other. Every moment spent doing that is a moment taken away from actual patient care. It's not just inefficient, it really damages patient trust.
So what's the fix? It's a technology called robotic process automation, or RPA. Now, don't think of a physical robot. Think of it more like a super smart software assistant that handles all those repetitive, boring tasks. And the impact? An absolutely staggering 85% boost in processing speed. That's a total game changer for hospital administration.
All right, now let's switch gears to the super high-stakes world of banking. In this industry, a single data error, one missed fraudulent transaction, that's not just a small mistake. That can lead to massive fines and completely wreck a reputation that took decades to build.
This is where AI basically builds a digital fortress. It powers these incredibly advanced fraud detection engines that can spot criminals in the blink of an eye. And it makes things like open banking possible through secure digital handshakes or APIs that let cool new apps use your bank data without ever compromising your security. Now think about your favorite local shop trying to compete against the online giants. So many of them are stuck using these ancient, clunky computer systems that make it impossible to give you that personalized, smooth experience we all expect now. And that disconnect? That's what leads to empty stores.
But AI can come in and trigger a complete overhaul. It helps retailers finally ditch those expensive old systems and move to modern cloud platforms. And what does that mean for you? Well, it means they can finally build things like personalized loyalty apps that actually get what you want, creating real connections that build serious brand loyalty.
Over in manufacturing, the challenges are happening on 2 fronts: on the factory floor and up in the C-suite. There's a huge skills gap for the kinds of jobs that are needed today. And then there's this problem that insiders call pilot purgatory, where a brilliant AI idea gets tested but never actually scales up to make a real difference.
But, and this is a big but, when AI is scaled up correctly, the results are just massive. By using it for things like predictive maintenance, fixing a machine before it breaks, manufacturers are slashing their costs by up to 50%. That right there is a true game changer for the bottom line.
And what about education? The challenges here are deeply human. You have these brilliant educators who are just stretched to their absolute limit, buried in administrative work. Meanwhile, students are often stuck in this one-size-fits-all learning model that doesn't really work for anyone.
Let's just zero in on one single task to see the difference: grading. Manually, it takes forever. But with AI's help, it can cut the time teachers spend on it by an incredible 80%. I mean, just imagine what they could do with all that time back. More mentoring, more one-on-one help. It's huge.
And finally, let's look at an industry we all count on every single day: energy. These companies are under immense pressure, from aging power grids that threaten blackouts to the massive financial risk of pouring billions into the wrong project.
And once again, AI delivers a direct, measurable impact. Think about coordinating field operations. It's a logistical nightmare. But by using AI-powered scheduling to get the right crew to the right place at the right time, companies have seen productivity just shoot up by over 30%. Whew. Okay.
So we just did a whirlwind tour through 6 totally different industries. So, what's the common thread here? What does all this really mean for you and your business?
If you only remember one thing from our time together, please let it be this. This whole conversation about AI, it is not about replacing people. It's about empowering them. It's a tool that's here to help us cut costs, boost our productivity, reduce risk, and grow with confidence.
You know, every industry we looked at has its own unique set of problems, and I'm willing to bet yours does too. So the real question, the one I want to leave you with, is this. How are you going to put AI in action to turn your biggest challenges into your greatest opportunities?